in this part of the country, we have to be ready for power outages every so often. You know, storm blows through, we lose electricity, and suddenly it gets dark. Now, you might have noticed that in the darkness, sometimes just a little bit of light is what matters. And back in the day, many people used oil-burning lamps like these. I remember being downstairs and scared when the lights went out and lit a candle. Just that little bit of light seemed to make all the difference. Now, one of the things about such an oil-burning lamp is that you have to keep the reservoir filled, right? It only will burn as long as there's oil left over, very much like our modern-day flashlights. Now, in today's gospel, Jesus uses this image, of a lamp like this to teach us a crucial truth about the importance of having enough in reserve and the danger of not having a reservoir inside for when it's needed. The bridegrooms who did not have enough oil presumed that they could borrow it when they needed it. The frightening discovery was they could not. And so they missed the banquet. It was awful. They missed it all. The story might sound odd coming from the lips of Jesus, because usually his stories talk about generosity and sharing and keeping an eye out for those in some sort of need. But the bridesmaids who run out are told, nope, they can't borrow it. They got to get their own supply. And at that late hour, it would have been pretty much impossible for them to buy oil in time. Now, here's the point. When the moment comes, there are some things we cannot borrow from others. We have to find it in ourselves already. For example, when the boss asks you to add some numbers, it doesn't matter how smart your teacher was. Your spouse might be great at being gentle and patient with a sick or frightened child in the middle of the night. But when you're the only parent at home and those things are needed, you've got to find it in yourself then. Or your parents' faith might have been really admirable and inspiring to you. But when you stand at their graveside, you will have to draw on something inside yourself. The oil is a symbol of what we need to draw on in a particular moment, right? The virtue, the wisdom, the strength we need to find inside ourselves right then. Now, it might be when here's a unique opportunity. It might be a moment of some kind of crisis, maybe even tragedy, or just the right time when something, the right thing just needs to be done right then. Now, of course, I'm not saying that everything depends on you and me, but often in the moment, there is that which no one else can do but you or me. Right then, we can't borrow what we need. We've got to find it in here. And so, one, we need to practice intentionally connecting to God now, so that when the crises come, and they will, we'll know how to go to that place inside where we we are one with God and God is one with us. So, and there's where we can connect. We'll know how to connect, to draw on that in us. 2, we need to work to become flexible now before any major life thing that will ask us to be flexible, like getting a roommate at college, getting married, or having kids. All of those things which will require flexibility from us. 3, we don't wait to be kind at home until things settle down at work. Because the pattern of those relationships, and actually the relationships themselves, are being formed now. 4, we need to practice savoring and seeing the blessings of an ordinary day. So that when the heartaches come, and they will, we'll have this reservoir of perspective. And 5, we need to learn to keep an eye out for others in need and to remind ourselves now that the world is not all about our own comfort. So that when, for example, you or I come across a car wreck or some other crises where there's something that we can do and is ours to do, we'll know that that is ours to do. The truth of a lamp like this is that the truth of life has to have enough oil. They couldn't borrow it in the moment. And in life, there are those times when we cannot borrow from someone else what we need right then. We've got to find it in ourselves, or we'll miss the whole moment. Today, Jesus reminds us that we have to build up inside of ourselves that reservoir now, because the painful reality is that we never know when the lights will go out.